What up, everyone? Let's go over the trades I took for this week on the NASDAQ. I took more trades than I should have, to be honest, but let's get into it. So, starting on Monday, I haven't liked the conditions these last 2 weeks. They're honestly the hardest I've traded in quite a while. So, Monday, I wasn't liking the price action. Some certain fair value gaps, PD arrays, inversions weren't getting respected like I would like to, and that tells me that conditions weren't that great. So I decided to just trade on an evaluation account. So I took this trade, which was a sweep of this daily fair value gap here. If I zoomed out, there would be a daily fair value gap from way back there. I think it's from October or September of last year. So that finally got ran, it got filled, and I was expecting some form of manipulation higher before continuing down at least. But we ended up continuing lower. However, I did get take profit and then got stopped to break even. So I took the long here off of this 5-minute inversion here, and we took out this 15 minutes. So that was my first target, and so I got TP1 out of there, took 50% off, and I was gonna leave this to run to this level up here, but didn't happen. As you can see, we just kept nuking for the rest of the day. So I just got stop break even and no other trades for Monday. So let's go on to Tuesday. I think I had, yeah, 2 trades. So let's go over that. Okay, so Tuesday, we had this banger short that unfortunately I got stop break even at, as you can see by this wick right here. Stopped me right at entry, right there. So not fun. So my break even was right here at this low. Let me turn off the magnet. At this low here. So break even there. We ended up delivering lower, but then reversed. And I don't even know what this wick was going for. Maybe just these highs here, these internal highs. But it ended up stopping me out, so it kind of worked. But yeah, we had this sweep of all this liquidity, and we had this unfilled 15-minute down here. And I think this was news that manipulated higher. Or wait, yeah, no. So 10 a.m. open high, low close. And we had this move down. So I was looking for a CISD retest. This is also the golden pocket. If you pulled a fib, I believe the golden pocket is somewhere around here. So that's a good retracement level. Really good confluences overall. And then we had this 1-minute inversion. So that was my confirmation to enter. As you can see, that's exactly where I entered. And yeah, I put my stop break even. I didn't take any profit because I was super confident in this draw on liquidity on this 15-minute fair value gap to get filled. And I was right. However, you got to stop break even, you know? So this goes to show, like, you could be right. You could be right on the direction of your trades, like, most of the time. And I'll show another example here, but your execution can be slightly off. And that's what makes the big difference. That's what makes, you know, a losing day or a winning trade or a winning day. So continuing on, we had this previous day low, which is this line here. From the previous day, it was the liquidity pool that I was targeting, or that I was expecting to be taken. I would have probably taken this all the way down here, but I mean, that would have just been greedy. 200 points, no. I would have full closed there, to be honest. But anyways, I had this 15-minute got filled, and my mistake was longing off of that alone because we had this 1-minute fair value gap that got filled or inversed. So I took a long, really small, for 30 points of risk and 50 points of profit potential. And I was expecting this 5-minute to get filled at least before continuing down to previous day low, right? But didn't happen. And that's actually been something that's continuously not happened with all of these trending moves downward or even upward on the NASDAQ recently, which is why I say, like, these conditions aren't that great. Because normally, you know, we're used to seeing these 5 minutes get filled before continuing lower, and it gives you an entry, or it gives you an opportunity to long, for example, in this situation, to this 5-minute before price reverses again. But anyways, I got stop break even. Thankfully, I didn't take this loss. Got stop break even back to back. And then here I did take a loss. So I'll go over that. So this trade was really, really, really like good. This was an A setup. Okay, so we took previous day low. We swept that liquidity. And we had an SMT with ES because ES had taken this low all the way down here. And ES was starting to reverse as well. So once we got this 1 minute inversion here, I longed, targeted the 5 minute again. So again, I was still confident that that was going to get filled. Even if we continue lower, that was still like a great draw on liquidity. Here's the issue is I entered here all fine and dandy. Price went all the way up here. And once this candle closed, I didn't like my risk because originally my stop loss was down here. And that was 50 points of risk. And to be honest, I had too many contracts in the position to where I felt a little uncomfortable if I took that loss. So what I did was as soon as this candle closed and it looked a little bearish, I was like, I'm going to put it at this breaker here. This breaker here. And guess what? Price wicked me out to the tick pretty much. And then ran directly to my target, you know? So this is what I say when I mean, you know, you could be completely right about a trade, but your execution is everything. Because if I just had left it alone, I would have made some nice bank. But that's what happens. I took a loss because I moved my stop loss. And now, honestly, I'm likely going to keep that in my rules where I can't move my stop loss, regardless of how I feel about it or the loss. So I need to be sure that that is the entry that I want. And the stop loss, the risk, everything, I'm accepting it. Unless, you know, my break-even level gets hit, I am not moving my stop loss. So these are the rules that you need to figure out for yourselves over experience, right? Like things like that will happen to you as a trader, and you'll just have to tell yourself like, okay, I can never let this happen again. So I need to add this to my rules. So yeah, anyways, let's get into Wednesday. Wednesday was a complete flop, I think, if I remember correctly. Yeah, pretty sure I took let me check my journal real quick, because I don't remember if... Okay, yeah. So this, I got break even on because, okay, yeah, I remember now. Okay, so yeah, this first trade I got break even on. I had my break even at this wick here. Or I just put my stop loss to break even at that wick because this 1 minute candle was like a news spike or something like that. So as soon as I saw liquidity get taken a little bit there, and I think ES had taken a level, I'm not too sure, I don't remember exactly, but it made me just think this is terrible PA, price action. So I moved my stop loss break even, and I got break even on that trade, which is the good move, obviously. And we had data lows down here, which got taken after. So again, I was looking for a long to target data highs up here, this wick. And on this one, we actually did take a loss. This was such a bad trade. Like looking back at this was so stupid. But these are mistakes that we make even now. I mean, I took such small risk on this, but it was just such a stupid trade. Like it did not follow my rules. I don't know why I took it. Anyways, we had this 2 minute inversion and 10 a.m. opened low, and I was expecting high close, right, to go into data highs. So I was pretty confident on the draw on liquidity, but the entry was just not good. The entry was just all the way up here, and we had this 4 minute fair value gap that just acted as resistance, and we got complete rejection off of that. And we just front ran my break even level by about 3 points or so. So reversed, stopped me out. And that's what it is. But it wasn't that bad of a loss, thankfully. So there was that. And this Oh, this was such a banger. Let's look at this one. I remember this short. We had 110 points on this one. Beautiful. Made up for that loss and more. So let's look at this. We had an SMT. ES had taken that high. NQ didn't. And we formed this 2-minute inversion. And below, we had all this liquidity here from these wicks and an unfilled 15-minute. I love unfilled 15 minutes because they're great draws on liquidity. So it was actually a 3-minute inversion, but 3-minute inversion, stop above this wick because it was an SMT, target the lows, and the 15-minute, absolutely insane. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful trade. Probably one of the best ones this week, to be honest. So let's see Thursday. So Thursday, I don't think I took any trades. Price action was super mid. There was no setups that presented themselves, so I just, preserved capital. So Thursday, no trades, which is kind of rare. I usually take at least a trade or two, but just nothing presented itself, and that tells you the situation, the state of the market, I should say. So Friday, today, we had a banger trade, but it wasn't on a live account, unfortunately. Well, this one was, actually, sorry. This one was, but it wasn't the banger I was talking about. This one was a banger. But we did that on an evaluation because it was in PM session. And at that point, I had already been up on the day and the week, so I just didn't want to risk it on the last few hours of the week. It wasn't worth it to me, but played out on evaluation. Anyways, let's go over this trade. We had double SMT. We had an SMT because ES took out this high, this overnight high. We had stack liquidity above, and I was expecting price to be bullish today, but I was expecting a pullback as well. This was just right after 9:30. 9:30 opens insanely high, just does a huge pump, and we got an SMT with ES and a second SMT on this high here. So at this point, we had all these gaps that were unfilled below, and I felt like those were great draws on liquidity. And honestly, I could have targeted this 15-minute, or not this 15-minute. I think there was a 15-minute. Let me check real quick. Real quick. Wait, this is Wednesday. What am I doing? There was, but not really. Okay, yeah, no. So I think I was. Let's go back. So I could have targeted this second 5-minute though. Yeah. So the way I could have played this better is, this was a great trade, but the way I could have played this better was, okay, so I had my stop at break even at this low here, first take profit there, and I could have left the second take profit level to here instead of full closing here, and that would have given me an extra like 20 points. So pretty good, but I full closed there. Really nice trade. We had a 1-minute inversion that confirmed it for me, and I took that trade. So there's that. We had this short here as well, which I got break even on. The stop looks wide, but I was low size on this, so the risk is still up to my standard, right? Because it doesn't matter how many contracts you have. It matters how many dollars you're risking, right, per trade, and you want to keep that consistent. So if you downsize to one contract instead of two, or whatever it is, but you're still risking the same amount of money, that's your goal. Anyways, we had this manipulation lower. We had this data low form, and as you guys know, data lows and data highs are great draws on liquidity. So we retraced. I think we got to around the golden pocket level, and we had this 2-minute inversion. So once this 2-minute inversed and we had filled some of these gaps on this leg down, I was bearish to see this data low get taken before continuing higher, because like I said, I was bullish on the day because of these highs up here that were still untaken. But as you can see, we have this 2-minute inverse. It went all the way down here. I got stopped. I got my break even level, so I got stop break even once we came back up, and we got front ran on data lows by about 8.5 points. So that's amazing. We love that. Could have closed out, but you just never know. You know, you have to stick to your rules. Don't touch the trade unless it's hit either your break even, stop loss, or profit target. But yeah, so there was this last one I took, which again I took on evaluation only. Unfortunately, it was such a beautiful trade. Let's go over it. So this was a continuation trade. Like I said, I was bullish on the day. We had previous day high at this line here, and that was a great draw on liquidity. So once we had this leg up, we had swept this liquidity. We accumulated here for quite a bit on the low time frame. And we manipulate lower, and we expanded higher here. So that is what you call a power of 3: accumulation, manipulation, distribution. Okay, my trade just moved. So that was such a clean model. Okay, this just isn't gonna move. All right, well, I'll move it myself. So yeah, that was the last trade. We tapped into this 5-minute fair value gap, got that filled, did a 1-minute inversion, longed there, and targeted previous day high, and it played for 72 points. So really, really nice trade. Towards the end of the day, there was one more that was kind of feasible. This 15-minute sweep to target the highs again. All this low resistance liquidity here could have targeted it. Classic buy model. Generate liquidity, take it out. The only problem with this is it was during lunch session. So there's that. But anyways, that was the day. That was the week. Overall, really good week. Or not really good week, but good week for the conditions we're in. This is a time where my model isn't presenting itself as cleanly as I'd want to. So for me, it's more of a, preserve capital and survive type of conditions. So I haven't been too high risk, not going for anything crazy, and I'm still chugging along. So good week in that regard. But anyways, thanks for watching, you guys. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys next week for the next trade recap. Goodbye.